Hello, my name's Sam and welcome to my channel So Let's Sparkle with Sam, and today I've come to you to tell you all about a lovely October challenge which I love, which is #SoUpcycle25. So I love this challenge and I love that this challenge comes at this time of year when I'm, when the nights start to draw in. It's nice to have one of those kind of mindful challenges, and I find that upcycling, turning something new from something old, it really makes me think, makes me reminisce, makes me feel good inside, that I might be taking something that I would have otherwise thrown away or someone else might have thrown away and turned it into something new. So let me tell you a little bit about the challenge. It's #SoUpcycle25 and it's run by two lovely ladies, my very good friend Karen from So Little Time and the lovely Becky from Notes on the Sewing Room, and I will put their two names just below. And you will need to tag them in if you would like to join in this challenge. It's an Instagram challenge and the reveal date is October the 31st. So you've got right till the end of October. Now, because I am kind of bang in the middle of this, so coming at you right in the middle of October, so I have got some plans. I've also got some half-finished projects, and I've also got some completely finished projects that I plan to enter into the challenge. So I thought I'd take the time to go through this and hopefully give you some ideas. So what am I wearing? I'm actually wearing something that I made for a challenge. I can't remember whether I made this for last year's challenge or the year before. I'm a bit lost on which one I did. I'll try and see if I can find out. But this was actually a duvet cover. So it was one of these like teddy duvet covers. And I used the LB pullover pattern to make it into a sweatshirt. I've currently got it on with another little kind of jersey snood underneath because it's got quite a lot of this, can you see, this little lurex shiny stuff in, and have it directly against my skin. I sometimes find it irritating. Sometimes it's fine and sometimes it irritates. There's no rhyme or reason to it. I don't know whether it's just my body. So yeah, if it does that, I do tend to put this underneath and then it's all nice and cozy. So I think if I was to make something like this again out of a material that I wasn't sure about, what I would do is I would use a different fabric on the inside of the neckline, line it with something. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing. I'm going to do a little bit of reading for you. So the whole challenge is to make a garment or a bag for yourself or for someone else, but not for pets. You can use any fabric that used to be something else. So anything that, not just fabric, but anything that used to be something else. So a tablecloth, curtain, bedspread, or any unworn make or ready to wear clothing that you want to upcycle. You are allowed to buy something from a charity shop or have something that's given to you. Use the #SoUpcycle25 whip if you want anyone to have sneak peeks. Ensure that you show a before and after photo. So that's quite important. It's really nice for people to see what it started as to what it became, and then reveal your make on the 31st of October. Simple as that. So yes, I'm just checking that I haven't forgot to tell you anything, but I will pop everything up at the end so that if you kind of miss out at the end, you can see all of the information. There are lots of sponsors, which means sponsors means prizes. So there's a good chance for you to win a prize, which is always worth it, isn't it? And there's a fantastic vlogger tour this month, so don't forget to go and check everybody else out. So today I'm Sam at So Let's Sparkle Sam on the 15th. Yesterday's the lovely Lucy, the sewing gardener, and tomorrow is Thready Stitch Sew. So that's very exciting. So let's get on and let me show you what my plans are. I've got a little pile over here. So I spoke to Karen earlier this month and said, Would you like to join a little social sparkle collaboration with your lovely upcycling challenge? And she said, yes, that would be lovely. So I set a little bonus on my website. I'm sparklewithsam.com. I run a weekly Monday and Friday social sparkle, which is an online sewing social. It runs Monday mornings and Friday evenings. So on a Monday, it's 10 till 12, and on a Friday it's 7 till 9, and you can come along with your projects. You get some me time, 2 hours of me time to come along with like-minded people. It's very relaxed, it's nice and chatty. There's lots and lots of helpful advice. You know, if you want to come along in your me made and just get people to have a look, give you advice. Yeah, it's a lovely session. But I thought what would be quite nice is to put on a special session for the Sew Upcycle Challenge, and I did that on the 6th of October. And I hope it gave lots of people some inspiration. But I decided that I would work on a project while I was there. So the one that I was working on was now I have, over the years, I have been given quite a lot of Sari fabric, and I love it because it's just so beautiful, and for all intents and purposes it's just big lengths of fabric, because the saris themselves, you get the little top to wear underneath, and then the outside of the sari is just a big length of fabric. So it's quite a good thing to work with. And also you tend to get lovely embroidery, you tend to get lovely textured fabric. The colours are always bright and wonderful. So yeah, so I've had this sari for a little while. My initial thought was to make some bags from it, and I am going to do that as well. But I thought I had so much of it that I thought it would be a shame not to make a garment as well. So what I do when I know what I've got to work with is I have a little look through my stash of patterns, and Stash Hub is really handy for this. I have Stash Hub, which is a kind of an app that I use where I can store all of my patterns, and then I can just flick through it. It's really helpful. I'll pop a link to it link to it down below if you want to go and check it out. But yeah, it's just great. I can kind of scroll through and see what patterns I have in my stash, and then I can see which patterns will kind of work well with the fabrics that I've got. And I've been wanting to make the Wren blouse by Chalk and Notch for the longest time, but every time I kind of go to think of making it, then I look at it and think, oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, and then you get quite precious about your precious fabric in your stash. And then I looked at the picture again, and I've been very inspired by the lovely Claire from Love Red Sews. She's made a lot of Wren blouses, and I thought, do you know what, this fabric is going to work with it really well. It's got a lovely statement sleeve, and this fabric will hold it really well. So yeah, so that was my plan number one. I'm going to make the Wren blouse. So what I have done is during the session, I cut out all of the pieces. They're all cut out, ready to go. And to add to the recycling kind of theme, instead of buying new buttons, and instead of buying buttons that are in my stash, because essentially, you know, I've kind of like, those are some new and some old buttons. What I thought I would do is I would go through, I have a bag that I put bits and pieces to go to the charity shop, and I would go through the bag to see if there was anything that had buttons on that I could perhaps use for this challenge. And I found, so basically it was actually in a bag that was due to go to the fabric recycling because the shirt was broken, but it did have 6 little pink buttons on. So yeah, I've used the buttons, and that's going to go on my Wren blouse. And then once I'd cut out that, I realised that I had quite a lot of fabric left. So then I went about making some little drawstring bags. So I've made these little drawstring bags, as you can see. I haven't put the drawstring through yet because I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to use ribbon or cord. And then I've made these really, really simple drawstring bags. And these will be great for Christmas or emergency birthday presents and that kind of thing, which is a great way to use up your, you don't want to end up with scraps after this, do you? You want to kind of be able to use up the whole garment. And then I did have some smaller pieces, and I've made these tiny little bags that I'm going to pop a little popper on. And then these, I tend to give these away to women that I know, for them to put kind of their sanitary stuff in, or to put, paracetamol, things that you need on an everyday basis to kind of have in your bag, but then you can take it out and put it in another handbag, all of those emergency things that people might need. So I made a few of those as well. So if you are upcycling a garment and you've got something left over, that's a really good way to use up your extra bits of fabric. So the next thing, I need to grab it from the bottom of my pile. I didn't do good planning, did I? So the next thing is this lovely throw. And as you can see, it's a throw blanket. I bought it to go on a sofa, but yeah, it doesn't quite, it just ends up getting thrown off the sofa and not actually used for the purpose. And yeah, and it doesn't quite go in the scheme that I wanted it to go in. So I was going to give it away, see if anybody else wanted it, because it's a beautiful blanket. It's super soft. I mean, it feels like, a baby blanket. But I thought, no, I'm going to try and turn it into something that I'm going to use and wear. Because it's so soft, I thought, actually, I'd love to wear this. Now, I know it's October, but in the summer months, I found that during the day, I was absolutely fine in, T-shirts and shorts and that kind of thing. But come the evening, because I love to sit out in the garden late at night, look up at the stars. It's one of my favourite things to do. And I thought it would be nice if I could make myself something that would be quite long, but also work as a jumper or a hoodie that I could kind of put over and have something snuggly around my neck, because as you can see, this is how I like to be. I like to be a little snuggly person. So I went through my stash of patterns. I went through things that I've made before, and I've decided to kind of do a little bit of a mashup. So I love the Freya by Tilly and the Buttons. The thing I love most about it is the cowl neck. So I'm going to use the cowl neck of the Freya, and then I'm also going to use the LB pullover as the base of it, but I'm going to hack it to make it longer, and I'm going to pop a pocket in it because I feel like a little cozy kangaroo pocket will just be lovely. So yeah, so that's my plan. I've made a start. I've already cut out the pieces that I need for the cowl neck. So if you haven't got the Freya pattern, that's the kind of shape that you need. You'll need 2 pieces. And I have actually changed the neckline across here to match this one here. So yeah. And I think because the lines change and the colours change, you get that kind of nice effect. I thought this one would be nice closer to my face, and then the whiter bit would be lower down because there's less likely of me throwing food over that. I mean, you have to think about these things, don't you? Right, on to the next one. So the next one, I've had this duvet cover, and I love the colours, and they're so autumnal and they're so beautiful. And I've had this for such a long time. It was used as a duvet cover, but it doesn't get used anymore. And I think last year I planned to make something for the Upcycle challenge, and I've just never got round to doing it. So I wanted to bring a duvet cover to you to just show you, how versatile they are. And, they just have so much potential because they have so much fabric. So one of the things that I thought, I don't know whether I am going to do this year, but I thought I would share the idea with you anyway, is that those of you that watch regularly will know that I love the Emporia Patterns Zoe dress. It's one of my favourite go-to dresses, And I had a look on their Instagram account the other day, and one of the beautiful ladies that works there had done a hack of the Zoe dress to bring the button placket all the way down to the bottom. So instead of it just having like an opening at the top, it was kind of a proper shirt dress all the way down the bottom, but still with their same beautiful signature box pleats at the front and back, giving it that lovely shaping. And I thought, oh, that is lovely. But I know, because I know my own body and I know my own sewing, is that I knew that it might not work for me first time round. I may have to move the placket slightly. I may have to have a little play at the hacking. And again, I might not want to waste my good fabric. Not that it's a waste, but you know, you've thought about a lot, haven't you, when you buy fabric and you've got an idea of what you want it for. So I thought this would work really well as a Zoe dress, and also for this time of year I think it would look absolutely fantastic. So I may have a go at doing the Zoe dress with the new hack of the button placket all the way down the front. And yeah, and then I will use the buttons that are in the duvet cover and use it all up. So yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. So use the Zoe dress, do a hack on it, and use this lovely fabric from the duvet cover. So the other thing that you can do is you can use a ready to wear or a me made. This is a me made. This is the Nina Lee South Bank sweater that I made a little while ago. And when I made it, I loved this dress and I wore it quite a lot. But recently, I don't know whether it has shrunk a little bit in the wash. And if it has, it only seems to have shrunk in length. It still fits me perfectly well, but it feels like a little bit short, and it almost feels a little bit indecent. Now, I wear it with tights and boots, so everything is covered up, but I just don't feel as comfortable in it as I used to. So it's just not going to be worn, because if I don't feel comfy, I'm not going to wear it. I know me, I know my body. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is, this is where the pockets start. So I thought what I could do is I could cut it off at that level, and then that would actually be perfect for me for a top. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to chop that off. I may take the bottom, and this is very difficult for you to see because it's all in the same fabric, but I might take this bottom kind of cuff off and then put it further up, or I may just leave it. I think I might cut it off and see how it goes. And then obviously I'll have a strip of fabric left on the bottom, and again, not to waste anything, because I don't want to waste anything I've cut off, I will make something like this. So like these kind of things. I have a video tutorial on how to make one of these, and I'll link that down below. And I also have a blog on my website that gives you step-by-step instructions. And then yeah, you can use the bottom to make this lovely jersey scarf, which if you don't want to wear it yourself, you can give it as a gift. They make great Christmas presents. And actually, this was one thing that came up when I was chatting with the lovely ladies that came to my social, and the lovely Kath. I think that she is going to do this with one of her garments. So I think it's a fantastic idea. And if you don't end up with quite enough, if you do end up with a smaller strip of fabric, you could make yourself a hairband, or you could make some friends a hairband. You know, jersey fabric is great. Jersey scraps are great for that kind of thing, particularly these ones that are a little bit more robust. So you don't need to waste a thing. So yeah. Wow, that was a bit of a whistle stop, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed some of the ideas. And as I said, don't forget to go and check out the other vloggers. They'll have some great ideas. Please let me know if you enjoyed this video, and give me a like and subscribe for some more sewing content. You take care. Don't forget to sparkle. Bye for now. Another simple way that you can give new life to an unwanted or a damaged jumper is to upcycle it using some applique. So if you get some heat and bond paper, some scraps of fabric, choose your design, use a lovely satin stitch on your machine, which is just a tiny zigzag, pop it all on, give it a press, and hey presto, you have an appliqued jumper.